Oh, hey there guys, how are you doing? So for those of you that maybe haven't seen this channel before, my name is Sam and I spend a lot of my time doing up this Harley 48 from stock to kind of what you see here and modifying it and making videos of what I've done. And today I wanted to do my most requested video, which is to look at the cost of all of the modifications that I've made to the bike, and I also kind of want to look at how much the bike originally cost me to buy, just to give you guys maybe a flavour of like total ownership costs really. So if you're considering buying a bike like this and you want to make it your own, you've got an idea of how much it's going to cost you to do it. Now I'll also go into perhaps how long it has taken me to do each of the parts to the bike. Now probably the caveat I put on this is I'm not a mechanic, so things maybe take me a little bit longer and I don't necessarily always do them exactly right. But you know, part of the joy I think for me of owning a bike like this is being able to try and muddle your way through and you know, not just enjoy riding it, but enjoy all the stuff associated with building it and creating it. So yeah, I hope this is useful for you, and if you've got any comments or any queries on any part of what we talked through, then let me know. I'm a little bit apprehensive about this video actually, because I've kind of just been mulling my way through buying bits for the bike and not really thought about the total amount I'm spending. So hopefully my wife isn't going to divorce me when I get to the total number of how much it's cost. So I suppose we better get on with it. Alright, so this is what the bike looks like now with all the modifications made. It's looked quite different to this before I got my mitts on it. So I bought it back in 2015, and including our UK value added tax, VAT at 20%, and all the registration, it was £8,490 I paid new, which equates to $11,761 to be precise at today's money. So I think I got a pretty good deal on it, to be honest. It was one of the last ones that was brought into the country. Here's a picture of me sat on it looking like a bit of a chump when I first got the bike, so you can see it is very, very different to how it looks now. So that was cost number one. So let's get into the breakdown of the parts. Righty, so let's go. I'm going to start at the front of the bike and work backwards, and I've got my handy little list so that we can go through it. It is a little bit dusty because I haven't been out for a while, so you'll have to ignore that. Right, first thing, LED headlight. Got this through from Amazon. It was not an official HD, so I saved quite a bit of money there. That was £45 or $62. I'm going to do all of these in pounds, which is my local currency in the UK, and I'll do it US dollars for you international folk. So £45, $62, and took about 2 hours to fit. I also got this RSD tracker bezel. Now I got that in the sale, so saved some money there. That was £60 or $83. It was usually about 3 or 4 times that price, so good deal. Next up is the drag bars. So these drag bars were Colt Works. They're flat, and I think they're about 1 inch in diameter. Those were £80 or $111. Probably took me about an hour to fit those. And I also got these Motor Gadget grips. They're solid aluminium, so really nice feel to them. But Motor Gadget stuff is quite pricey, so this is one of the areas where I spent a little bit more. The grips were £144 or $199. And these took ages to fit. As you probably have seen from my earlier video, this was around about 5 hours to fit these because of the complication with all the wiring, and I actually ended up having to do it twice because they broke and the indicators fell off and I had to redo it, so a lot of time spent. And of course, connected to the grips is the Motor Gadget cone indicators. So the indicators were £179, $248. So very expensive for the grips and the indicators, but you have to get them as a set. So next up is my most expensive thing. I think on the whole bike, which is this tank, this is a custom chrome 3.3 gallon tank. Now, the cost of the tank wasn't too bad. That was £225. But what really ramped up the cost was getting it sprayed. Now, I had it colour matched exactly to the Harley Black, and that was £300. So all in, this was £525, which is $727, which is scarily expensive, and I would definitely look to do that cheaper next time. And that took about 3 hours, not just in the fitting cost, but faffing around driving to the spray shop and back. So next up, I have got the Arlen Ness foot pegs. So I've got one of these on the other side, they're gnarled rubber, and I've also got the shifter piece, £67, $93, which took about 2 hours to fit. You'll see from my video there was a bit of grinding needed, so it took a bit longer than it perhaps normally would. Next up, Performance Machine air filter. Now this was quite expensive. It's they call it the contrast cut. That was £380 or $526, and that probably took me about 2 hours, I would say, to get that one fitted. So next up is going to be the Arlen Ness Magnaflow exhaust. I wanted something a bit different from the standard Vance and Hines that everybody else has. This one was quite cheap actually, I think, as exhausts go, £527 or $730, and it took me around about 5 hours to get this fitted. It was the first time I'd done it, and I could do it probably a lot quicker than that now, but yeah, it was a bit of a faff getting the old one off and all the sensors and working all of that out, so it did take me a lot longer than it would probably in a shop. I also went with this Design Engineering titanium wrap, which I've got a video on fitting. That was quite expensive as wrap goes. It was £102 or $141. Now that cost actually includes two, because I had this on, I grounded it and tore all the wrap off, and so I did all the wrap again. So yeah, had to fork out twice for that, but that was the cost of the bike. Alrighty, so next up, you can't actually see it, but is the Vance and Hines FP3 tuner. If you're going to do a stage one with your air filter and your exhaust, then you're going to need to tune it. So this was a little bit more expensive than some of the other methods, but I got it because it's Bluetooth, so I could connect it to my phone and it kind of adapts as you ride to auto-tune it really. So it was quite neat and more simple. So that was £321 or $456. 2 hours I reckon that took me to fit, connect to my phone, program, do a ride and get it firing and working. So next up, another very expensive purchase for me was this seat. So this is a Mother Road Custom Bobber Bates brown leather seat. This was the only thing that I actually had to have imported directly from the US. Paid for both the seat and this metal mounting bracket that you can see there. And because of that, I had to pay import duty. So the total cost of the seat in pounds when it arrived at my door, including taxes and import, was £405. But actually in dollars, that was only $478 for the kit. And that I've put an hour in fitting that. It's probably a lot less, to be perfectly honest, because it's quite a straightforward one. I also, my last video I think it was, made this kind of little under seat pan to cover the battery. So you can buy those for maybe about £100, $130, something like that. But I decided to make one, and I made it out of some Krydex thermoplastic, and that only cost me, what was that, £18.25. So yeah, money saving area there for me. Alrighty, so next up, coming to the back, I've got the progressive shocks. These are 11.5 inches and they're the 412s. So these little babies were £323, $447. And I reckon that took me about 2 hours to get these on. Luckily, my brother had a bike lift, so we could get the thing up and get those in. All right, so rear indicators. I've got the Motor Gadget Ice here, which are some dinky little indicators, but I like the way they look. Because they're Motor Gadget, they're very expensive. So these were £124 for the pair, $172. Now I needed to get these little mounting plates to fit them. A lot of guys have asked where the hell you get these from, because you can't put these little mounting indicators on without them. These were made by Cult Works, and I got them from Harley Custom. For what they are, they're incredibly expensive. They were £23, $32, just for two little metal plates like that. Unbelievable. But you need them, and I couldn't get them from anywhere else, so that was those. And fitting time on all of this, I think, was probably about 3 hours to get them on, to work it all out, and then to wire them in. All right, so the next bit is, it's a little bit kind of hidden out the way here, is my side plate, which was one of the more expensive pieces, to be perfectly honest. So the side plate was £282 or $391. It probably took me about 3 hours to get that fitted. And I've also got this, which was one of my bargain basement purchases, which was a rear brake light and general rear light. This was an eBay special, £18, $25. And then I guess little bits and bobs. £8 got me a little white pen so that I could draw in my Harley Davidsons on the tyres. So there we go, bit of a whirlwind tour there, and the bike, God, is so dusty. Unbelievable, I need to get it out and polish. So there we go, guys. So let's tot all of that up and see what the overall damage is. Alrighty, so that gets us, I think, to the number $16,860 or in my local currency, that is £12,170. And that is the cost for the bike new, and then all of the modifications, including tax, that I've fitted. Now, bear in mind that I've done all the work myself, so I haven't had any fitting costs. I reckon that it's taken me somewhere in the region of 43 hours to get the bike into this shape. And as I said before, I'm not a mechanic, so I've kind of learned as I've gone. So it's probably taken me, or it has taken me, a lot longer than it would have taken a professional, or maybe even yourself. So the other costs that I have with the bike are kind of the ongoing costs of ownership. So roughly speaking, road tax in the UK is about £120 on the bike each year. My insurance is around £380, and servicing goes up and down, but generally speaking, I tend to budget about £280 a year for that. So total costs of ongoing running the bike, £760. That would be $1,080. So guys, what do you think? Do you think I've spent too much money? Do you think there are any bargains on the bike or anything that surprised you in the costs? Please let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. As always, if you enjoyed the video and you found it useful, please hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button. And if you're not, or you didn't enjoy it, then give me a thumbs down and please let me know why, so I can make it better next time. So next up, I'm probably going to be looking at making my titanium skid plates for my boots so that I can get some sparkage going around corners. And I've got a few more modifications that are going to be coming up with the bike, as well as some riding videos soon when the weather finally gets a bit better. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned.